Welcome to Shore Perspectives, a community feature of WESR Radio, highlighting the spirit of the shore from those who call it home.
My name's William Smitty Dize, live in Cape Charles, Virginia. Well, I was born in Chrisfield, and 2 days later, I spent the first 21 years of my life, or 22 years of my life, on Smith Island. So I was raised there. Growing up as a kid, it was pretty awesome. Well, luckily, Mom was with me, or with my brother, the night that the tornado hit, because my son was graduating to Coast Guard the next day, so she wanted to be at the graduation. But I would say, first and foremost, they're probably thanking the good Lord this morning that it weren't worse. They're thanking that Doris, Miss Doris, never got hurt worse than what she did. It could have been way worse than what it actually was, and I know they're being grateful for that. But I know, with the same sense, they're very grateful and very appreciative and very humbled by the people that's reaching out and sending stuff over. I think there was 2 boatloads of stuff that went over to the island yesterday, and it's pretty amazing. And I know the city of Chrisfield and different organizations around Chrisfield has been helping out as well, and so that's our closest point to the mainland. And so I know they're very grateful and very humbled. It's a lot of damage. More than I think we've seen. I know in my lifetime I never saw anything what I've seen on the videos and stuff. But Smith Island, they're strong. The people over there are strong. They've endured a lot to live on an island, especially with like the 76, 77 freeze and everything else. They'll get through it. But I know they're grateful for the outreach of the communities away from Smith Island and the mainland and stuff. Stuff that's just pouring into the island's pretty impressive and amazing. I know they're thankful. I spoke with the chief of the fire department. He's kind of handling all that. I spoke with him yesterday. That's my cousin, Eddie Evans Jr. And they got so much stuff yesterday that they really hadn't had time to inventory what they got. And they don't want things that they're not going to need. And I told him there's a group on the shore down here that wants to help in any way they can. And he just said if he could hold off a few days until we assess what we've got and assess what we need. He don't want people sending stuff over that they don't need. But again, he's very thankful, and the island's very thankful and appreciative of the outpouring from the communities. And I understand Jay Fleming, photographer, has started a GoFundMe page, and that's got several thousands of dollars in it. And so it's amazing. Yeah, I think right now there was a section of the island where the tornado come across that the video that everybody saw the most of was where the bed and breakfast, the roof ripped off, and that area where Miss Doris's house was and all. Of course, it knocked out a bunch of power lines and stuff going through there. So there was a southern tip of Rhodes Point that was without power, and I think speaking with Eddie yesterday, ANEC, they can't be appreciative enough of Norwood and Danny and the group from ANEC that's been up there working around the clock to try to restore power.
My name is Norwood Evans. I work at ANEC, Electric Cooperative on the Eastern Shore, and we supply power to Smith Island and Tangier Island, Virginia. Smith Island lies north of Tangier, roughly 7 miles. That's in Maryland. I'm originally from Smith Island. Me and Smitty grew up together. We received a trouble call about 7 o'clock in the afternoon, and Danny Crockett and myself, we went to Smith Island in the boat from Tangier, and once arriving in Ewell on Smith Island, we encountered boats sank. One boat had been picked up as a 25-foot boat, and as a guy said, it was suspended in the air, and it came down upside down on top of a pile. And then one of the ferry boats, which is the mail boat, as we were approaching that, the windows was sucked out of the boat, and all of his radar and gear on top of his cabin all was gone. And it looked like, but a fuel dock, it looked like the twister had passed right through the fuel dock area, and it collapsed the pumps and all. It was just something I've never seen before, and that was on Ewell. Little did we know the hardest hit was Rhodes Point. And upon arriving in Rhodes Point, Maryland, everything was, pretty chaotic with the houses being tore up, and then the big bed and breakfast with the roof off of it and everything. Then we started assessing our power lines, and we have a feed of power lines that comes from Tangier supplying power to Smith Island on the east side of Rhodes Point. Well, 4 of those poles were damaged, and all the lines were pulled down from the 3 phases were pulled down halfway of the island pretty much, and the back. And once we assessed that, we went to the west side of the island, which supplies power to the homes on the southern part of Rhodes Point, and we had devastation on that side as well. We had poles snapped, and all the power lines stretched almost a little more than halfway of the southern part of the island. All 3 phases were down, and it was a pretty bad situation. Since I've been working at ANEC, that's one of the worst things I've pulled up on so far. After the initial shock of what we were seeing, and all, contacted Stephen Thomas with Thomas Transportation, and he arranged a captain and all, and once we got everything set into play, Stephen Thomas transported 2 service bucket trucks and a digger derrick along with the new poles and equipment over to Smith Island, and they got on Smith Island Thursday afternoon, but we couldn't unload the barge until we got a high tide because of all the weight on the barge, and we got those off around 4 o'clock in the evening on Thursday. So we started working. We worked into the night Thursday, but without Thomas Transportation, it would have been a very hard job to do, and kudos to Stephen and his crew. And then continued working Friday. We got them up on generation, and then we continued to generate power up until we got them back on power about 6:05 Saturday afternoon. The lady the house that got hit, that was my aunt, Doris. It was just heart wrenching to see the damage, and all, but it was a miracle that she survived. And it was hard to see, your own time like that. No, I'd like to thank ANEC, and all the crews and the people of Smith Island for supplying, us with all the stuff we needed at our disposal, food and water and everything. But appreciate everybody that took part in it, and it's an effort. And any donations that can go towards should be addressed to Smith Island United, P.O. Box 40. That's P.O. Box 40, Ewell, Maryland, 21824. And please, if you make a check or donation to designated to tornado relief, Smith Island, and your donations would be greatly appreciated. It's that and emotions too, because when you got family involved and all, you see what happens and all, it's a little tough to see.
I would like to thank personally all the people at ashore, as a group, Shoreborne, Jay Fleming, for the fundraisers, and it's just the outpour of the people. It warms my heart to see that there is still good in this country, even with everything that's going on. At the end of the day, we're all humans, and we need to look after each other. So thank you.
For Shore Perspectives and WESR Radio, I'm Kelley Gaskell.